Hey guys, this is Brittany from By Brittany Golden. I post videos about plants and projects, and today we are doing two things. The first is I am reviewing the Elevated Garden Bed that the company Vego sent me to review, and I'm going to be showing you guys, after I walk you through putting it together and all of its features, how I'm using it and why I'm using it for my edible tuber garden I'm putting in. So I'm growing taro root this year for the first time. These are grown from grocery store taro bulbs, and I'm growing them, the foliage is great, but I'm growing them for the bulbs. The bulbs are edible. And then I'm also going to be planting a couple Jerusalem artichokes or sunchokes in the bed, again, for the tubers, not necessarily the flowers or foliage. So I want to be able to have something higher off the ground so that I can easily dig out those tubers. And also because Jerusalem artichokes will spread if you let them go unchecked. So having them in some sort of raised enclosed container that's off the ground is probably a good idea. So first, let's go back in time a little bit to walk through the assembly of this bed and what makes it awesome, and then we will cut back to today to go through the planting. Now, when I was first looking at pictures of the bed online, I was a little bit confused about how the bottom of the inside of the bed was structured to hold all of the soil in, but also allow for drainage. So we have the bed mostly put together here on our patio, and I'm gonna show you guys what the inside of the bed looks like without any soil added. So it's just these aluminum panels that you screw into place, and otherwise it is completely open. So it's these aluminum panels with these drainage channels going down them that are what helps the water drain out of the bottom. However, these keep all of the soil in, obviously. So you set them down here and then you screw them into place. And then to keep too much of a mess from falling out, these actually kind of snap and overlap into place here. So this one has a little bit of a lip on it that goes on top of this panel, and then you just go all the way down and put these into place. Now, when you water the plants, the water will go into these channels, go down, and then out these little raised areas, because these little raised areas are obviously raised and water will be able to escape out through them. So I would not recommend putting this planter somewhere where you're super worried about what is underneath of it. If you're dealing with a lot of drainage from your planter, which if you're watering thoroughly or it's raining where you are going to be dealing with water coming out the bottom of the planter, obviously. So there is a storage area on the bottom of the planter. So keep that in mind too if you're putting things down there that you don't want any water to get on. Now that I've got all of the bottom panels screwed into place, I'm going to tighten up all of the channels around the bottom of the bed so that we can get started filling this. Vego also sent me the heavy-duty caster wheels that go with this bed, which when I say these are heavy-duty caster wheels, I'm not kidding. These things are heavy and solid. So now I've got the Vego bed on its side here, and I am going to screw all of the caster wheels into the bottom before I add those racks down. All right, now that we've got everything set up and flipped back right side up, the very first thing we're going to be doing is adding in a layer of leaves in the bottom of this planter. So I like to add leaves because it helps save on soil costs. You don't have to fill the whole 11-inch bed with soil. Instead, you can add in some delicious dead leaves. Now, the leaves are excellent for the soil because as they decompose, they will turn into just a really nice medium for your plants, and the light fluffy medium at the bottom of the planter also helps with drainage from the soil on the top. So I have some leftover leaves from the fall that we picked up from some neighbors who bag up their leaves. So I am going to just roughly spread those out evenly around the bottom of the plant bed here, and then, hi helper, and then start filling this up with some soil. Okay, so I have a full bag of leaves in here, and this may look like a lot of leaves in here and not a ton of room for soil, but once I start adding in the soil and the compost, it will really compress the leaves and it will create a really nice drainage space of light, airy, decomposing leaves at the bottom of the bed that will eventually just become one with the soil. So once I add in the soil, it will only be like 3 to 4 inches of leaves and the rest of it will be soil, which is plenty for what I'm gonna grow in here. Now, since I wanted to wait a little bit to start planting until things warmed up a bit, everything has settled in here just a bit, which is exactly what I wanted to happen. So I am going to take a little bit more of this composted manure we had delivered for a front yard project and spread that in to kind of top things off a bit. Now, I got 4 sunchokes from my cousin Jimmy, and I potted them up separately in these little pots to get them a head start here on sprouting. And you can see all of them have sprouted just a bit, and they are ready to go. Now, sunchokes can get quite tall, between like 6 and 10 feet actually, so it should be kind of interesting seeing them in an already raised bed. They should be quite striking if they grow to their full height, but I do want to make sure that I can support them if I need to. So I've kind of split this bed into 4 quadrants for where I'm going to be planting. The innermost 2 quadrants, I'm going to be planting sunchokes so that I can stake them together if I need to. And then on the outsides, I'm going to be planting my taro. Now, as for our taro root, this was actually an experiment for me this year. I wanted to compare growing grocery store taro root to growing taro root bulbs that I bought from an edible bulb store online. There's lots of mixed reviews online about sprouting grocery store taro root bulbs, and I am here to tell you that it can be done. This right here was a super healthy looking taro root bulb that I picked up at H-mart. That is one of the H-mart ones. This one was a bit smaller, a bit slower to sprout, but still sprouted. And then this one was another big one that I got from H-mart that sprouted just fine. Out of the ones that I've opened, I had 2 big ones and 3 small ones, and it looks like the only one that has not sprouted, but looks like it may be trying to, is 1. So 4 out of 5 that I've taken out have all sprouted and have not rotted or anything. So this is the other one. So not only will this be a beautiful plant because I love growing elephant ears outside in the summer, but it will give us taro root that we can dig up and eat. So I think what I'm going to do with this side here is I did a sunchoke here, and then that leaves the ends. So some of my larger bulbs, I think I'm going to save and put those in their own large pots. But the small ones, I think I am going to try and put down here right next to each other, maybe in a little diagonal, so that they can grow together and hopefully have enough room to spread in this area throughout the season, since they are starting out a bit smaller. Now I'm just gonna pop in 2 of the other plants over here on this side, then give it a good water and call it a day. And here is a final look at it all on my little pad outside of my greenhouse. I ended up going with 2 of the medium-sized taro root bulbs there, left a space here for some ginger that I'm still working on sprouting. The 2 sunchokes are here in the middle, and then I've got 3 more of these smaller taro roots here on the end. So I'm hoping to scooch in some more ginger over here somewhere, maybe when I pull these flowers in about a month or 2, but I just could not resist adding a little bit of extra early season color right now. I will probably also seed some nasturtium seeds around the outside, so that the trailing kind, so that I can get a nice trailing color on the outside of the bed as well. And I love nasturtiums for companion planting and for my integrated pest management strategy. So if you guys are interested in investing in one of these elevated garden beds, I do have a referral code in the caption. This actually goes for all of the Vego products too. I have lots of Vego beds, some that I purchased myself, some that have been sent to me. I really do love the product. So if you're interested in getting a little bit off, check the description for a code and a referral link. And I'll be doing some more videos in the future updating on my tuber garden here and how the elevated garden bed is holding up and how it's working out. I'm sure it'll be fantastic because I won't have to bend over to get the stuff that I'm growing, which is actually under the soil instead of above the soil line, which is how a lot of plants are. So I think this is going to work out really, really well, and I will certainly be doing an update in the future. Until then, happy planting.